So, in part one, I covered the first half of the recommendation letter for Jake, and it stopped talking right when I was talking about appeals to emotions. And so, I want to go back and explain a little bit what I was thinking here in this example. And I think this is a really choice example because it actually overlaps with all three of the Aristotelian appeals: ethos, pathos, and logos. So let me explain. This example appeals to logic by revealing results, actual, factual results of what Jake did. This appeals to emotions because I'm hoping that the readers will be impressed and moved by his chosen topic on elderly abuse, right? I'm trying to elicit the audience's emotions and make them think, wow, he really cares about what happens to the elderly. Um, and really likes his passion is showing, and so that should impress them. And lastly, I'm trying to build Jake's ethical likability by showing that he cares about marginalized groups and how they're treated. I'm trying to further humanize him. So in the very last part of this passage, I'm just trying to close my thoughts. I'm just summarizing. Been covered, and I'm reinforcing that Jake is a commendable individual with certain traits, right? And I'm even using certain language, right? Purposefully employs certain language or diction. Words like passion and compassion is trying to humanize him, because people in the medical field, they usually want somebody who, is just there for the money. They want somebody who's there and really cares about people. So let me read the next paragraph, and I'm going to go a little bit faster with these final three paragraphs, okay? Furthermore, Jake is both reliable and communicative, which will serve him well during his medical school years and beyond. He completed in high quality every homework assignment, major essay, and peer review workshop. And if there were any technological issues with uploading an assignment to our school's online platform, he would directly email me an electronic copy of his work in a professional, timely manner. I always appreciated his communication and attention to detail. Jake's dedication to his academic career extends beyond the excellent completion of his work. He was proactive in visiting me during office hours, and this is when he would ask questions and reflect on his essay drafts to enhance his writing skills. He has a good balance of being both an attentive listener and a confident speaker, and I'm proud to say that I've seen his writing blossom in voice and technique. He has been one of my most advanced students. So I'm just going to highlight a few things here. Number one, I'm going to say that this is another claim. And claims always support the main argument. The main argument is that he's deserving of his position, and here's another reason why. And then I give some facts. So this is me appealing to logic. And this is me further building his credibility. Okay. And I'm also showing he's very, professional too. So it is also important to note Jake's ability to be creative and innovative, which is important to effective leadership. In my class, I teach a unit on creative writing, specifically descriptive narration, and he penned a powerful piece entitled "The Man Without a Hat." At the end of this fictional piece, Jake's protagonist reflects on the following: there were always hats in my life. On all the people in the town, on everyone in the shops, on my wife, on myself. I reached up and plucked the leather brown explorer's cap from my head. Maybe it was time that I tried the path of the enlightened. Maybe it was time that I became the man without a hat. This character, although made up, reveals so much about who Jake is: someone who is willing to take calculated risks, dare to be different, and forge a path that is true to the self. So this is my third claim, and I'm just going to make a note. Another reason why he is, I was thinking about how they want people in the medical field who are creative and innovative. They don't want people who are simply followers, although being teachable is a very important trait to have. They want people who are humble, who are willing to learn, but at the same time, if you're going to be a physician, you really have to think for yourself and problem solve issues on your own a lot of the time. So I thought it would be important to highlight this particular characteristic for Jake, that he's both creative and innovative. And this is my spin on it as an English teacher, trying to show, exemplifies concretely how Jake's character is, right? More ethos building, more ethical likability. Let's see. And then in closing, Jake's demonstrated commitment inside my class and outside of it will undoubtedly show up in his work as a medical student at your school and someday a formally practicing physician. He has already accumulated invaluable firsthand experience with medical practices thanks to the pre-medical program at the University of California, San Diego. As a result, I see that his commitment to be a physician has become even more solidified. For all of these reasons described above, I highly recommend Jake for your medical school. He will be worth your investment. Please feel free to contact me if you would like any other assistance regarding his application. So here is where I reiterate my my argument. I'm assuring them, restates my purpose and argument, assures readers he is worth it, that he is worthy, and I demonstrate a fact. So this is me appealing to logical appeal. It's logos. And then I show my logical and my reasoning that I'm reasoning that he's very committed. My reasoning is that he's a committed individual. So appealing to logic is more than just providing facts. It's also about my sense of reasoning and how I want them to think. So that way they will reason, right? I aim for my readers to reason that he must be committed if he has accomplished all of these things and if he has earned my respect, right? So I want them to have a sense of reasoning. Oh, he must be worthy then if she thinks all these things about him and knows him this well. And that's it. So these are my highlighted comments. This is how I annotate. Notice all of my active verbs. Notice how I don't even use the Greek terms, ethos, logos, and pathos. And some say pathos. You'll hear it different ways. But I just try to use plain English. I just try to put in my own words. I'm answering the question, what am I doing? I'm not summarizing what I've said in each of these paragraphs. What I've done is shown rhetorically, what am I doing? And so make sure you do that for your own annotations as well. I'm looking for you to be thoughtful. Try to annotate at least a couple times within each paragraph, or think about what the moves are, because every paragraph is important, as you can see here. And all the claims that I've listed here, there's 3 main claims, and they all back up my main argument over here, which is where I say he is worthy. Thank you for listening. Hope this helps. And contact me if you have any questions about how rhetorical analysis works. I'm happy to talk to you more about what I was trying to do here. And hopefully he gets accepted into the medical school of his choice.